What is up, you sexy beasts? Today, I have the privilege to sit down with Georgia Pryer, one of the most exciting female athletes in the Australian space. Georgia finished 10th at the 2022 Torium Pro. She then finished 5th place at the Down Under Championships at the end of last year, and currently unofficially sitting in 4th place after the quarterfinals weekend. So not only an absolute amazing athlete, but a friendly and generous person. Let's get into it. Okay, Ms. Georgia Pryor, are you ready for your 20 questions?
I am ready.
Awesome. The first question, nice simple one. Do you have any middle names? Or if not, like any nicknames that people call you or used to call you?
I do have a middle name after my mum, so Etsebeth is my middle name. Nicknames, they just go as far as like G, George, or a newer one is Pep or Peppy, which I really like. Sounds like, upbeat and cool. So that's about it.
Where did that come from? Peppy?
Yeah, I know it's different, isn't it? But it's actually one of my emails involves my initials, so GEP, and one of my friends thought that the combo of my initials spelt out GPEP, which it doesn't quite, but yeah, so it just went GPEP and then shortened to Pep and then expanded to Peppy and Peppington, and all the branches stem from those letters.
Peppy, I like it. That'll be your name from now
on. Cool.
Can you describe to us your perfect day from waking up to going to bed? If you had to describe a perfect day, what would that look like?
Okay. My perfect day would involve no working. So waking up or sleeping in, actually. Waking up would be the first step. That would be near perfect at least. Having a coffee probably outside, somewhere fresh with my dogs would be ideal. But my perfect day, I would love to be anywhere near the water, like a beach or camping out on the river or something. So spending probably all of the day out in the sun, just chilling with my friends, really having no responsibilities, feeling like I can do whatever, have some nice food somewhere, a good pub or restaurant or whatever it may be. And then probably an early night. I'm not really a late night gal these days. I do love going to bed decently early. So just when I feel like it, cruising, going to bed and getting a good sleep.
Love it. No training, no fitness.
No, actually.
I love it. Do you still, or did you used to play any other sports outside of CrossFit?
I don't anymore, but prior to CrossFit, I did gymnastics for 11 years. So then when that chapter closed, I felt like I needed something else to fill the void and had a few friends doing CrossFit. So that's how I sort of jumped into it and landed into the space. But during like primary school, you had all the typical sports that you do, soccer, cricket, touch football, whatever. So I dabbled in a few things, but seriously, gymnastics was the only one. It just took up so much time. So I didn't have room for anything else at that point.
Nice. I guess you're not complaining now with gymnastics being a pretty big part of CrossFit. It's good.
It's huge, yeah.
Yeah. What is your go-to takeaway meal? I don't imagine you eat a lot of takeaways, but if you had to, like, what would the go-to?
Well, every Friday actually we get Zambreros, so I'm either a burrito or a nacho skill.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah.
What did you do after school?
Like after year 12?
Yeah.
Not much, to be honest. I had a gap year that just continued on. It never actually stopped, I suppose. But because I was just finishing up gymnastics at the same time I was finishing school, just ended up coaching a fair bit there. And then that's when I sort of fell into the CrossFit space and everything snowballed a little bit and we kind of ended up here. So no extra like proper education at uni or anything. I've done a few courses since. But yeah, nothing crazy. Just kept on that fitness bandwagon.
Love it. Love it. Join I'm the same.
Yeah, nice.
Yes. What music do you listen to?
I feel like the general popular music, like just your regular pop, like a bit of Post Malone. I don't know, just Australia's hottest, what is it, like hot hits or something on Spotify? Like sometimes it's a bit random. I do find that I actually like a lot of music that Mum used to play when I was younger, so things of her sort of decades. But that's really about it. I feel like probably just the same music as most people.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's a hard one because I know there's a lot of movies out there, but could you tell us what are 3 of your favorite all-time movies?
So one that we watched in school and we had to study it for our English class, I ended up really liking, and that was called The Dressmaker. Second, probably Forrest Gump, just a classic. Yes. And third one's not a movie, but I really enjoyed the series of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I don't mind a bit of Will Smith, so anything with Will Smith, yeah.
Nice. I just finished his book actually, and he talks quite a bit about that series in there. So
there you go. I'll get on to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do to relax?
Besides the obvious, just laying down and doing absolutely nothing, probably I think one thing that helps me to relax, if this counts, is getting myself organized. So one thing I really like to do is I've got a magnetic whiteboard on my fridge, so I just like to erase the month of that and then sort out what's coming up in the next few weeks, days, months, and just feel like I'm on top of things, and then I feel like I can relax afterwards, and then I just do nothing. Go on reels, watch some YouTube, do all
Yeah,
that fun stuff.
love it. Okay, getting a bit harder here. Tell us embarrassing story if you have one.
So I mentioned to you I don't have the best memory, so I actually can't think of anything crazy embarrassing. I'm sure there's people out there that can probably tell their side of the story that I've done something embarrassing, but I had to actually ask around, and only one thing that came up was one time. I don't think this is embarrassing. I actually thought, or especially at the time, that it was quite clever. But one time, me and my best friend, after probably one of our first ever comps, we needed to have some dinner, and we're just in a hotel room. Didn't have a kitchen, had like a kettle and a toaster, that sort of deal. So like, what are we going to do? We didn't really feel like going around and getting anything. Don't know if Uber Eats was a thing. Anyway, so we came up with the brilliant idea of trying to cook pasta inside of our kettle. So I don't know if that would have worked because we were saved by the bell with Jake. Actually, he was our coach there, taking us to a restaurant. But at the time I thought like that would be the smartest option, is put pasta inside your kettle, click it on boil, does all the work for you. Don't know if it would have come out raw, how many times I'd have to boil it, but apparently that's embarrassing. But to me, I just thought I was, I thought I was on the train of innovation at that point.
Yeah, I think it's genius.
Yeah,
I'm a
thank you.
hurdles, and I think that's a nice, fast, clean way to do it for sure.
Yeah, embarrassingly smart, I think.
That's it, exactly. What do you enjoy spending money on when you got some extra money and you want to splash out? What do you buy?
Clothes would be number one, absolutely. And my second thing, I really enjoy spending money on gifts for other people.
Nice. Yeah, cool. Okay, the next 5 questions is going to be would you rather questions.
Okay.
A bit of fun. So
Yep.
let's get into it. Would you rather have your tongue pierced or have a shoulder tattoo?
I think definitely a shoulder tattoo. Tongue's just not an area I want to be pierced. That bad boy's thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was 16 years old, I left school and moved to Melbourne to play some tennis from New Zealand. And while I was there, I got my tongue pierced. And my dad, I'm a South African, so I come from a real conservative, like Afrikaans family. So my dad's like, no tattoos, no piercings.
Oh,
And
wow.
when I went back home, I didn't take it out. He picked me up at the airport, and we're driving home. I didn't say anything, and he must have just seen it kind of come out of my mouth at some stage while we're chatting. And he pulled his car over on the motorway, and he said, "You're either walking home or you're taking that thing out and throwing it away."
Oh, no.
That was the end of my tongue ring. So
Oh, my
last
God.
about a month.
That's crazy. Was it
Actually,
painful?
it wasn't too painful, but even to this day now, like 20 years on, I still have like not the whole, but like a little hard bit in the middle of my tongue where it's kind of healed up. So
Oh, yeah, right.
it's always there. Yeah. So I think shoulder tattoo is the way to go for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Would you rather go without shampoo for the rest of your life or toothpaste for the rest of your life?
So I thought about this one. I think I'd go without shampoo because I think that's a bit easier to hide. Like, you could chuck on a hat or something and put your hair up. Bad breath's not great. And I think you could just wash your hair with, I don't know, a household item like some vinegar or something could probably do the trick. So I'd definitely try and go without shampoo.
Yeah. Always boil some water and wash your mouth out that way. Yeah. With your tomato noodle water. Yeah. This one's a tough one, I reckon. Would you rather have a time machine or a teleporter?
Yeah, this one is tough. But I think I'd lean towards a teleporter. Just saving so much time and it's just so easy. I feel like sometimes I'm a lazy person by nature. So anything to make anything easier, teleporting would probably be the go-to. And a time machine would be sick to experience, obviously, things you wouldn't get to otherwise. But yeah, I think I'd choose a teleporter.
Nice. Would you rather be a high school teacher or a clown?
I'd probably go a clown. I feel like you'd get laughed at either way, but I think high school is just mean. So I'd go a clown.
100%. And last, would you rather question, would you rather lose the ability to cry or cry every day for 20 minutes at a random time?
I think I'd lose the ability to cry. 20 minutes is a long time to cry, especially when you don't know when it's going to hit you.
Yeah. Okay, we've got 5 questions left. Probably some slightly deeper questions now to really get to know you. What is the greatest accomplishment of your life so far? Your young life. You're only what, 23?
23, yeah, 24 in September. So,
Yeah.
um, I have always been really proud of in my gymnastics career. We went overseas and we went to America for just some of their sort of local competitions, and I placed first at one of those. And that was always something really proud of mine, one of my achievements. It's probably the thing that's like at the top of my list. Yeah, I'd probably go with that.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, thanks.
What is on your bucket list?
Not too extensive. Probably just mostly involves traveling. So I've been to New Zealand once. Would love to go back there at least once more. Multiple times would be the preference. Yeah, so just bulk traveling, getting to see as much as I can, especially of Australia, because I know it's so beautiful here. All our beautiful beaches. And other than that, on my bucket list is to build a house, or my dream house would be even better.
Love that. That's cool.
Yeah.
We've been in Australia for 6 years now, 7 years in Australia, and I haven't gone any further than I've only stuck along the coast. I've gone to Noosa as the furthest I've gone up north, and where have I been? Like Melbourne, Sydney. Yeah, I really haven't explored Australia much, but there's so much cool place to go to in Australia. So
Yeah, absolutely. So much to see.
yeah, often you want to go like travel the world when it's like, oh, there's heaps of cool stuff in the backyard you haven't even seen yet. So
Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
What is your best childhood memory? Oh, did I take this one out for you?
No, you took out your earliest.
Okay.
So, remember my earliest? I've got no clue.
Yeah.
But one of my fondest childhood memories is when I was probably below the age of 5, and we lived in Sydney, just in the backyard, just kicking a footy around with my family. It was always, I just remember it always was so much fun. There's always so much laughing happening. We had a few pets around, and my brother and that we'd play. And yeah, it was just, I just remember it always being such a good time. I love that.
Yeah. What skill would you most like to learn?
I would love to be able to sing really, really well. Cannot sing at all. Um, Maybe to draw really well, really easily, just without any effort, be able to draw something pretty sick. But that's probably about it.
Yes. And last question: who is your hero?
Probably at the top of my list would be my mum and my younger sister. I love those two more than anything. Obviously, the rest of my family. Don't tell them that. But I think I sort of idolize people for different reasons. I don't really specifically have one person that I look up to, but I do find a lot of different people heroic for their own reasons, for like their confidence or their commitment, things like that.
Yeah, love that. Very cool. Well, Georgia Pryor, it was very nice to just get to know you a little bit better, and hopefully all the viewers enjoy that. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you at Torium Pro. Hopefully, punch a ticket to the CrossFit Games as an individual athlete.
Yeah, this year will be so interesting with Tia and Cara out. Yeah, it's gonna be
It's wide
epic. It'll be
open.
so much fun.
Yeah, very cool. Oh, thanks for your time, and we'll have you back on again at some stage.
All right, thanks so much for having me.